Welcome back to River City Live. The last time we were visited by hypnotist and therapist Joni Neidigh, we talked about what hypnosis is, what it is not, and we asked her would she please come back and demonstrate some self-hypnosis for us. So Joni, before we have an opportunity to get there and meet your subject of your demonstration today, what's going on with some of the athletes that you work with? Because you work with some very talented young athletes using therapy, hypnosis, suggestion. How are they doing?
There is so much going on right now with my athletes. Right now, we are focused on United States Olympic trials, and we have just started wave 1 this morning, and I have athletes swimming as we speak, and it's very exciting. And so what they're doing is they're in this first wave is trying to qualify for the first 2 top spots so they can move on to wave 2, which is next week, where you're going to see some of your more seasoned athletes that have been there before, who've been on the team, who've actually, gotten medals at the Olympics. And so they are all just preparing for that. So it's been a very busy, season, but it's a very busy time right now. And I'll be attending that meet next week.
How exciting!
Yes.
But with that excitement it becomes very nerve-wracking, which is where hypnosis and actually, being able to control your thoughts makes such a difference. So will you introduce us to your subject today?
Yes, this is actually my husband, Dr. Larry Neidigh. He's a psychologist at our practice, Community Behavioral Services.
And you are going to show us just some quick tips. Obviously, this isn't going to teach us everything we need to know, but just to kind of give us a little taste of what self-hypnosis looks like, what it sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, so self-hypnosis is a tool that you can use to access the resources that you already have within you that help you to make the changes that you want in your life. It helps you to get more of what you want and less of what you don't want. And so I'm going to demonstrate a really simple technique today. And I think it's important to start with a basic technique because self-hypnosis is not magic, but it feels magical once you've mastered it. But there are different levels. So we're going to start with a basic level, and I think that's always a good idea with anything, is start with a basic level and become amazing at it, build confidence, and then add things to it that make it even more successful. And some of my athletes are actually using this technique today, and they will be in the next coming week. So I'm just going to go through it, and I'll kind of explain what's happening as I'm doing it. So if this is called the 3-2-1 reset technique, it can be used to just as for something as simple as moving out of a state that you don't like. Maybe you're feeling down, or you don't have enough energy, or maybe you're trying to avoid an argument, or you just want a reset between what just happened and what you're about to do next, and a calming effect perhaps. And so it's very simple. So if you can remember 3-2-1 and watch as I use these steps, you'll be able to do this at home. So what I want you to do, if you will, is just take 3 breaths in and out in no particular order or way. Just be present and focus on just that. And so now let's move on to the second step, where I want you to take 2 hands. So this is the 3-2 part, where you're going to place them on your shoulders and cross them. And while this might seem like a simple move, and just keep breathing as you're doing that, but what it does is actually very sophisticated in the brain. You're giving yourself a self-hug, which, we laugh about that sometimes, but the truth is we know that sets off those feel-good chemicals in the brain, that oxytocin. So that's very important. So we can access that quickly. And the second thing that it does is it creates what we call bilateral stimulation, which helps you use both hemispheres of the brain so that you can't think of that other thing that was upsetting you or that you wanted to block out, so that you can move forward and start thinking about what you want in a way that you want to. And so the next step would be, and if you'll close your eyes for this one, he'll just start to breathe for a minute. So there's the 1. You've got 3, where he took the first 3 breaths, 2, where he went into that bilateral stimulation self-hug, and 1, he's focusing on nothing but the breath. So, and continue to do that, but think about the breath Think about the temperature. Be an observer of your own breath. Just notice what you notice, where it goes, how it feels, and anything that you can discover.
Now, something like this is obviously, as you mentioned, the very tip of the iceberg. What we love is that you have brought with you an opportunity for all of our viewers. If you want to try a free self-hypnosis audio visit, you just go to JoniNeidhighHypnosis.com/self-hypnosis, and you see it there. Should be coming up on your screen, and use the coupon code RIVERCITY at checkout, and you'll have an opportunity. I know we're just really just skimming the very surface here, Joni, but we loved having you, and we're going to send it over to Rain.